Meanwhile, Joe Johnson reminded casual NBA fans that he plays for the Utah Jazz. He hit a buzzer beater, and the fact that they were able to go win that series after Rudy Gobert goes down, playing the Clippers, who not a lot of people thought they necessarily had a shot against, was pretty amazing. What do you make of the series and then pulling out that win?
Well, the Gobert thing has the potential to be devastating for the Jazz, but the way they bounce back in game one will tell you that even though it hurts them, it's not going to totally hold them back. The one thing about the Gobert injury is important is you have to look at the value of the replacement player. Utah has played a lot with 4 perimeter guys, a point guard, 3 wings, and 1 big for a good majority of this season, and they have some wing depth. Joe Johnson, you mentioned, obviously Hayward, Rodney Hood. They have guys that can come in and do that job for them, and they like Boris Dio on a different look playing the 4 as well. Derek Favors had 15.6 rebounds in 32 minutes. And although he's a little bit of a different player than Gobert, a very good defensive player in his own right, but not the dominant defensive player Gobert is, he's probably a little bit better of an offensive player, can drain a 15-footer, has got a couple of post moves, can jump through the gym, and is a big physical guy. The value of that replacement player for them, for Gobert, is pretty good. And they will play more of a smallish look with the 4 perimeter guys, and Favors is the 1 big. Listen, the bottom line is this. The Clippers are going to have to figure out a way, Gobert or no Gobert, they're going to have to figure out a way to dig deep and really in late game situations play much tougher. Doc Rivers is coming apart at the seams a little bit. You saw him go crazy on a reporter post-game, which I was shocked to see that out of Doc, that lack of composure this early in a series. He's feeling a lot of pressure. Chris Paul's a free agent. It's a fait accompli. He's going to be back there. We don't know about Blake Griffin. And rumors have it Doc's got his eye on the Orlando job in terms of being that franchise architect. So a lot of moving parts here with the Clippers. Doc's under a tremendous amount of pressure. He needs to lead these guys a little bit better and a little bit calmer than what he's able to do here, because the Clippers are feeling a lot of pressure. It's from the top down. And for the Jazz, especially without Gobert, this is house money. They're loosey-goosey out there. They're in the playoffs, and they don't have home court. They got it back in game one. Everything, even without Gobert, all signs point to the Jazz taking this series down to the end.
Yeah, you wonder if Doc's feeling the pressure a little bit, or losing his composure, because maybe he knows, Geltzy, this Clippers team doesn't have the toughness that it needs to go out there and compete to win a championship. I mean, it's been one thing after another with this Clippers team, always disappointing. We know Doc has what it takes, but that team is soft, as you mentioned. Maybe that's why he's losing composure here.
I think so. And I also think, here's the problem with Doc. He got spoiled with Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett ran a locker room for him in Boston, and he could sit back and let KG handle things. He's kind of tried to treat Chris Paul in that way. That's not Chris Paul. Guys don't fear Chris Paul the way they feared Kevin Garnett. That's the reality of the situation. So you look at that, and he's expecting Chris Paul to be able to be that leader. Guys don't love Chris Paul. Chris Paul's very derisive in how he leads guys in a very different way than Kevin Garnett was, who was intimidating yet encouraging and positive at times. So Doc has kind of done the same thing in Boston. It's the same thing with the Clippers that he's done in Boston here. And you can't coach every situation the same way. They need a heavier hand from Doc, yet a steadier hand from Doc, but he's got to be more involved in the leadership stuff. Early in the year, DeAndre Jordan took that role and it was working out well, but it's very hard to take that role with Chris Paul on the team. And Doc really needs to kind of be that guy, and he just hasn't been that in terms of that locker room needing leadership. He's kind of figured, I got a lot of vets here, I don't have to worry about it. Well, it's not working out that great here at this point. And for the Clippers, their backs are to the wall. This whole era of Clipper basketball is in jeopardy, and a first-round exit would be catastrophic for this group.